And welcome back to the Lazer Grand Arena. Here we've got the first match of the 2025 edition of the tournament, Osu's first official Lazer tournament, now in its second iteration. We've got a pretty good match here for y'all tonight. We've got Synchromic going up against Flying Tuna. I'm Miles, and joining me tonight in the booth is going to be Mavs. What's up, Mavs?
Yeah, what's going on, Miles? What's going on, everyone? Welcome in here to Lazer Grand Arena, as Miles said. First official Lazer tournament for Osu, which is great. And yeah, we've got Seed 4 going into Seed 29 here today, which, of course, we're going to have a favorite. It's going to be Tuna, of course, is the favorite. But you never know in these early bracket stages, these pools are easy enough for the lower seeded players to steal points and as we've seen in OWC in the past, even still entire matches. So always have room for error for some of these top players, no matter what, and I'm excited to get into it. There's some cool little just things with this pool and this format and stuff, and especially like watching the Lazer mod map, that flat by second, the freeze frame, like it's just so cool to see that in a tournament, and I'm interested to see if players have actually practiced, you know, those new mods and learned how to play them, because that's not something you just chuck on and play. Like, I wouldn't be able to throw that on and just play it. You actually have to learn how to play that that mod. So interesting to see how players will do on it.
Yeah, you have the Lazer mods like that, and you also have rate changes. If you look at the map pool, our DT1 is 1.35x, and our DT3 is 1.20x. So get to play around with rate changes, which is something that OSU players have been doing for years already. So it feels like kind of a natural progression. We finally get to doing that in tournaments more. I mean, we were doing that a little bit in the past, but it was looked down upon. Now it's officially in the game, so don't need to use any external tools to put the map at a specific speed. OSU Lazer can do that, and we're going to have that in the DT pool. And it looks like we're going into the ban phase. Synchromic going to ban out the Nomad 2 against Tuna. I think that's a little bit surprising to me, knowing Synchromic as a player, but...
That is actually, that's surprising to me as well. Like, I was expecting Synchromic to go into some of the tapping / streams and also a bit of aim, maybe. But perhaps that Nomad 2 just a bit too techie for his liking against someone like Tuna. Tuna might absolutely, like, tear up those cut streams. So that might be what he's scared of, to be honest.
Oh yeah, one thing that I think we should elaborate on, because this is the first match of the tournament, and not everyone might be familiar with, is the format for the tournament. So you see that there are only 3 points on each side for each player. That is not because this is a best of 5. It's actually because basically the format of this, similarly to last year, we're going to have cumulative scoring decide things again, but this time it's not the total cumulative score of the match. There are going to be sets of 2 maps, 1 pick from each player, and whatever the higher cumulative score is between each player in said duel gets the point. So think of maps as actually, or think of points actually as pairs of maps together. And then if the players tie at 2 points apiece, then we have a third set that is 3 maps, including our OS original down there.
Yeah, so it will be interesting to see. It's a very kind of different style of format that really any of us are even used to in tournament, but it's cool to see things get tested out, get mixed up in this Lazer setting where, you know, a lot of official tournaments are still not using this, you know, the Lazer scoring and all that stuff. So it's a cool time to test these new things and see how they play out. But yeah, we've got some bans out here already. Of course, 2 bans aside, and looks like Synchromic taking out... Oh no, that was a Protect, sorry. Protect was coming out from Synchromic there on the Lazer mod, on that flat by second map. So we will get to see that freeze frame get played, which is awesome. And then Tuna protecting that hidden 3, keeping some of that tech in the pool still. And then the bans coming out here. Hard Rock 1 gone and hidden 2 gone.
Yeah, I am so excited to see flat by second get played, because freeze frame, if you haven't seen, is one of the craziest mods to watch get played in real time. What it does, I think, is every single circle of each combo gets displayed on the screen at once, right?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, it's so crazy to watch. It's almost like easy, but on steroids. Like, when that gets picked, everyone's mind is gonna get blown.
Yeah, it's super cool. And that map specifically, just, it looks very visually pleasing to watch with freeze frame, because you've got these long combo strings of like linear patterns you have to follow. And it just looks really cool when they all pop up at once and you're just kind of following along this line that you had to sort of pre-memorize. It's pretty sweet to see. But we're going to have the first picks here getting pre-planned. So Tuna going with a hidden 3 and a no mod 4 here. So kind of expected, sticking to his guns. You know, everyone knows Tuna. He loves this sort of tech, unconventional playstyle, and he loves hidden and no mod. So staying to his guns here.
Doing all the picks in a row. I forgot to mention that. You're picking mostly at the start of the match here, so not going to be reactive picking. You have to plan your picks in advance. Oh, never mind. It's only 1 pick for reference.
Oh, was that a slight, might have been an error. Yeah.
Okay, everyone's learning here. It's a new format. Everyone's getting used to it. I wasn't sure about that myself, but Leo was saying it, so.
Hey man, if it gets picked, you just gotta go with it, right? I thought that was how it was gonna go too, but that shouldn't. I mean, that's not gonna make really any difference here. I don't think Syncromic was going to pick No Mod 4 into Tuna, anyways. It would be a hot take from me, maybe. Probably not.
I don't think that's a hot take. I mean,
No,
Tuna
not
is
at all.
kind of one of the best at that kind of thing in the world. So, if I'm Syncromic, I'm probably looking away from those picks against Tuna.
Yeah, I'm expecting a DT2 and probably 3 maybe out from Syncromic. DT1's an option too, but we'll see. Gonna be getting straight into the Will Stetson song, actually, which is cool to see. It's the first map. Hidden 3 pick from Flying Tuna here. Getting into it, and this one, Miles, this is a very, very unconventional, strange map. It's got a lot of elements in it.
Yeah, I mean, Flake has been doing this for a while, make this really awkward style of alt map that also has a fair amount of slider aim as well. Very heavy on the aim control for sure. And that just leads to, oftentimes, a lot of players struggling. Already see a few act drops and a break from Syncromic out of the start, and there goes another as well, while Tuna is looking so poised on this, nearly double S-ing through the first 300 combo.
Yeah, it's already looking incredibly good for Tuna, especially just the accuracy. As we know, with Lazer scoring, the accuracy is weighted a lot higher than in normal Scorpy 2 from normal OSU clients, so very, very strong lead here for Tuna already, although he did find a break, but again, combos still very impactful, not as impactful as we're used to. Tuna's just, I mean, he's got a pretty huge lead early on here as we keep moving through this map about halfway now. Syncromic trying to do all that he can to get it going.
Building up a pretty good combo, up nearly 200, but Tuna is way ahead of him still with 297 combo going into this break. Just got the last chorus of the map to go. Gonna need a break from Tuna soon.
Yeah, it's still possible here, of course, and there's the break, as you said, from Tuna, double miss, and he gets a few chain misses, something to look out for. That's a lot of accuracy gone, but there goes Syncromic to lose the combo. That's not going to do him any favors. Accuracy is still in Tuna's favor. Some of these, like, vertical wiggle patterns, so brutal. Tuna hitting that one, though. Oh, man. Doesn't look like there's going to be enough time, I think, now for Syncromic with those misses. Tuna just barely solidifying his first pick here, I think, in the ending.
And it looks like there might have been a Bancho miss, because Tuna built up that combo up to nearly 300. I thought he broke closer to that, but it's going to be a massive score from Tuna here. 750k plus, 98.3 AC, avoiding any chain misses on that. It's going to be a great score from him on his first pick, 772k. The victory. And now we have to remember that this score is actually going to be carried into the next map. 772k for Tuna, 645k for Syncromic. Syncromic needs to make up that difference on his pick to get the point.
Yeah, it's great to see something different, like you said, like we're used to. In, you know, a normal format, this would be, you know, Tuna could have won by 1,000 points. It barely won by an absolute tiny margin. And Synchromic's score just wouldn't have mattered. It never would have mattered. It would have just been 1-0, and that would have been that. But because we're playing this in sets, and because it's played with cumulative scoring, that score Syncromic got is going to do a lot. Like, he got a pretty good score for that map, you know? He's 130k short of Tuna's score, but that's going to help him moving forward in these next maps, so it's always cool to see that at least that wasn't for nothing, you know? In a normal match, you kind of just have to go next. But here, a bit different.
And here we go. Flat by second, the first pick from Syncromic, that Lazer Mod 1. This map was originally a custom for, I believe, OWC 2021. I remember that being played in the Grand Finals, USA versus Germany. It was a free mod pick, and now it is going to be used for something a lot more dastardly than just a regular free mod pick. Freeze frame on this map.
Yeah, it's so cool to see, man. I feel like I'm watching Osu again for the first time when I watch like a mod like this be played, because I've not played around with these new Lazer mods. I've not played freeze frame at all. So watching people play this, I'm like, where do I go? Like, where am I aiming? And I just remember the very first time seeing a friend play Osu at their house on like a 5-star map and just being completely dazzled by it. having no idea what was going on. And I get a little bit of that feeling again watching a mod like this get played. I don't really know what to do and how to play it. Of course, it's learnable, but when you're watching it for the first time, it's just so different.
Dude, this is insane. It's like, we're both experienced tournament players. Like, we've seen a lot in our times, but like, this is just something else, man, to the eyes. I know the mysticism might wear off soon, but for now, man, this is so cool.
It's so cool. At least just even visually. I mean, look, you can see Tuna already not looking as practiced on this as Syncromic. It makes sense why Syncromic has protected it, why he wants to pick it. As I say that, finds a couple misses, but does have the early lead. And yeah, as you can see, every single combo string or combo color, basically, all the notes appear at the same time. So yeah, this is it's so hard to play if you're not well practiced on it. And it's very map dependent too, which is another thing. So many factors.
But now at this point, it's a very slight lead for Syncromic, just about 20,000 points, starting to expand it a little bit as Tuna finds more breaks, but he needs to build up 130k of lead in order to take the set. And here we go into this very awkward linear pattern.
Oh my god.
The flow on this is so weird.
Yeah, you can sort of see after these patterns repeat a little bit where your actual kind of follow point is, where you have to go on these lines. They're very linear, but if it's not practiced, you're not going to immediately see that, you know? You can see both these players struggling, even with the protect from Syncromic, something he's clearly practiced, but still finding struggles. But keeping a very slight lead. He's going to want to try and build that lead up, though, a bit more if he wants to make up that score difference from the first map.
And Tuna held up a pretty big combo going out of the linear section and was able to shorten the gap between his score and Syncromic, so it's looking pretty bad for him now. Just a short lead when he needed much more to take the pick, and now going, it looks like Flying Tuna is going to take the first set.
Yep, it looks like that is going to be the case. Syncromic winning his pick, but of course, cumulative scoring, Tuna comes out on top with still 115k or so lead. And he'll be taking that first set right out the gates. So both protects as well already been picked.
Still got a lot of map pool remaining. Pick now goes to Syncromic. First pick for this next set. That trades off. I'll have to check the wiki again to see if that's win dependent or if it just trades off.
Yeah, I don't recall either, to be honest. There's a lot of little rules here we gotta remember for this new format. But Tuna taking that first set by the 116,000 score. So now we move into the next two picks. And yeah, kind of as we expected, I think Syncromic to kind of lean into this DT pool and potentially some aim. He does decide to go for a DT1 here, Hole Dwelling. This map was awesome, man. I've never actually seen this map, but I know it's like fairly popular to my knowledge. It's super cool. It's a super interesting way for something to be mapped. It basically is the patterning on the map just moves slowly left and right the entire time. It's like a sliding left and right, the patterns. And then all the jumps and most of the note placement is like vertical. It's super cool. It's such a cool concept for a map, actually. It looks super awesome to watch.
Melon Boy is one of the mappers who will do that. He's different from the rest. Even if you look at his aim maps, he's always very conscious of like little changes in the music and like how he does his spacing. And no surprise that he's behind something super creative like this.
Yeah, also extremely high AR on this. AR 9.4 with DT. Oh, what is the rate change on this? I actually don't recall.
1.35.
Oh, it says right there, 1.35. It says on the UI. I'm blind. But here you go. You can see this sort of patterning style I was talking about. So you can see the notes just slowly go left and right, left and right, left and right, and all the placement of the notes is just vertical. It's kind of mesmerizing to look at.
Out of the start, both players still holding on to their FCs. A slight accuracy lead for Flying Tuna, going to be giving him a lead of a few thousand points.
Yeah, very early lead and very minuscule lead as well. Expecting fairly big combos, I think, on this over the weekend, just in general. Expecting large combos. As I say that, immediately cursing Tuna as he misses on almost nothing there, actually. So Syncromic, what he wants for his first pick into this next set. Gonna be able to start to amount a pretty big lead as well. As like I said, I'm expecting big combos on a map like this, so it's good news for Syncromic here.
Into this next jump section, still fighting an accuracy deficit to Flying Tuna, so he's not going to be able to take the lead that far, and he finds the break, so the lead starts to shift back over to Tuna now.
Yeah, big break there coming out from Syncromic. Tuna now with a chance to take things back, and you do not want to be losing on your pick as well in these sets. You need to try and build up as much score as you can, because then you're going to have to break point on the opponent's pick and build up enough score advantage to win the set, which is, I mean, that's such a tall order, man. Especially against the seed number 4 and a player like Tuna, so.
Yeah, I mean, player like Tuna, so strong across so many skill sets. It feels really hard to pick into him, and this type of fast aim, you know, he was farming this type of thing like 6 years ago.
Absolutely. Back when he was a mouse player, which is kind of funny to mention because I think a map like this, very comfortable on mouse. Vertical jumps are super comfy on mouse. So, would have been very comfortable if he was still on that mouse, but let's find a break there again on nothing. Tuna actually missing, both his misses this map have kind of just been on nothing, on like very tiny patterns of very small jumps. Syncromic though, only miss on that big kind of diff spike section. Building up the combo again, starting to accumulate a score lead now. And Tuna going to start to fall a little bit behind. Syncromic can hold on through... Well, this is about as free as the combo gets. What I would probably call free combo here. Try and build up a bit more score, but... Oh, he goes down. That's big. That's big.
Yeah, Syncromic really needed Tuna to drop back in that section, but not dropping enough. That ACK lead is dwindling, but it's really not enough, and the lead is only about 10k going into the last section of this pick. It's really not looking like a big enough lead for Syncromic to really have won this, and it actually flips back in favor of Tuna, so can't even really say that.
Yeah, Tuna looking like he's poised to take this in the last minute of this map. But he does go down, loses a combo, but Synchromic's there to trade, so even a tiny lead like this is going to be, this is a steep hill for Syncromic to climb already into the next pick. Gonna have to see how this pans out. What was actually picked next, because I didn't quite catch what the other pick was. See in a moment.
I mean, I'm pretty sure those multiple picks weren't even meant to go through. It was meant to just be that first pick from Tuna, so we'll see if he does continue to go down that line of tech as he was going when he was picking what he thought was multiple maps at once, but it's actually just meant to be one. But yeah, nonetheless, 725k, it's going to be about a 26k win for Tuna on that one going into his own pick, and that is a pretty healthy lead going into your own pick. It is a break pick. Not going to call that a break point because a point is 2 maps combined.
Very true. That would be a break pick technically. Would there even be break points in this format?
I don't think so. I mean,
I don't think it exists, right? Each set is balanced, right? They both have a pick. So yeah, I don't know. But we're expecting, what, the No Mod 4 here, probably?
Absolutely.
As Tuna did, like, kind of pick it at the start there. Was a little bit of shenanigans going on. But he might mix it up after what he's seen so far. But no, we're probably expecting a No Mod 4. Most likely. Yeah, there it is.
And there it is. Self-destruct by Pocket. Pocket is one of those tech mappers that really emerged a few years ago, I think. A lot of his really iconic maps coming out of Course Ace. I don't remember off the top of my head if this one in particular came out of Course Ace, but he is such a remarkable mapper of slider tech, and that's really what this plays in the pool as.
Yeah, I mean, this map kind of starts off mostly kind of chill, and kind of seems more like a light techie sort of map until you get to the part And the high velocity linear sliders start coming into play with some very intensive aim requirements as well. And it starts to get a bit overwhelming. But early on, pretty chill map to kick things off.
Already into some long and fast sliders. You can see some early act drops coming out of Synchromic. Tuna, this is his bread and butter. If there's one skill set that you can pin on Flying Tuna for the entirety of his Osu career, it has been the tech. This is a skill set that not many have a better track record on than him throughout the years. So see how he does on this one. Healthy 98.8-ish% coming out of the beginning, up against 97.3 on Synchromic, but both holding on to the FC.
Yeah, both have the FC here. So moving closer and closer towards that huge diff spike. Yeah, I think Tuna might be that person with the longest track, like one of the longest track records on tech, for sure. I mean, off the top of my head, I can't really think of anyone else like it's kind of been around in the tech game for as long as Tuna. It's always been one of the best tech players. Continues to do so in 2025. But a free combo here. Both players still holding on to those combos. Slight ACK lead for Tuna. Gonna give him a very small lead. I can't quite recall exactly where the diff spike is, but I know it's coming up very shortly. And there's no way we see both the players combo through it fully. I don't expect it. Here we go. We're getting into it now.
The part. Both players looking so poised going through it, but there goes Synchromic finding a slider break. And a couple more at that. Tuna now with the full combo and the accuracy lead. Finally finding a break, but has already accumulated a 50k lead, and which he already has a 25k lead on the score from the previous map. So Synchromic has a ton of ground to make up on this point.
Yeah, it's going to be a steep hill to climb, and there goes the ending of the diff spike there. Tuna actually finding a misread in the midst of that, unfortunately for him. But both players ending that section with the exact same combo, actually. To the one, like exactly the same combo. As we move through this long slider, and about a minute of the map left. It's gonna have to be a miracle, I think, for Synchromic to, one, bring this back, but also make up the 26k score deficit that he has in this set. So he's gonna need to have, you know, build up 75k from where he is above Tuna. It's a lot, because that means Tuna also has to stumble in this ending, which I don't think is gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, we were just talking about Tuna, this all being tech great, like, cannot expect him to have that kind of slip up on the end of this map.
Yeah,
And
doesn't help
there
that a
it
lot
is.
of this ending seems pretty chill as well. So yeah, that looks like it's going to be it for the second set, and probably going into a 2-0 for Tuna. A little cut streams to end things off. Thought it was over, another 20 seconds.
Yep. Some sliders in the ending, in case you didn't have enough in the rest of the map.
Yeah, it's really awkward ending, to be honest. It would be cool to see that in a close map or a close set, like that come down to that ending would be pretty intense, because holding that combo is pretty hard there. But there it is, Tuna gonna be taking that map fairly convincingly and winning the overall set by about 82,000. So not winning either set by some enormous margin, but winning them both fairly comfortably at least.
And now Synchromic back up against the wall. That's 2 sets to none for Tuna. And okay, it looks like it is alternating who picks first in the set, because Tuna is once again going to be the first pick here. See if he continues in this train of sort of awkward, unconventional maps. Something like that No Mod 4. Or I mean the No Mod 3, sorry.
Yeah, No Mod 3. I could expect possibly a No Mod 3. Is that actually GG? Is it? Does it?
It's
Okay,
not
I was
GG,
gonna
it's
say.
not GG.
I was gonna say, does it only go third set if it's like 1-1? But that wouldn't make sense with the the score, the boxes up top. Okay, so yeah, this first of 3 sets.
DT3.
Well, okay, that's not what I said I was gonna expect. I did not expect a DT3 to come out and like the stamina pick for Tuna here. This is, I mean, this map is basically like what you're used to in a Nomad 2 slot, but at roughly 240 BPM in this DT slot here. Not what I expected, honestly, from Tuna to come out. I mean, I know he's very capable of playing a map like this. He'll be fine on it, but just not what I thought he would pick here.
Yeah, when I was doing my research on Synchromic, the first thing I see at the top of his user page is Rate Change Enjoyer. So yeah. I would think that Synchromic might enjoy a map like this. But nonetheless, I really like this map in the map pool. Pupa, this is a callback to Osu World Cup 2015 in the finals pool, grand finals actually. Remember USA and China playing this one twice. It was a free mod map.
Yeah, I think I do actually recall, now that you mention it. I remember the background for sure. But here we go, into this DT3. First pick of this set by Flying Tuna, and it's going to have implications on the pick from Synchromic coming up here as well, because if Synchromic can win this pick, which is very possible, by the way, on a map like this, he's got that DT2 available, which is definitely an option. If he loses it, he can just go for something like Nomad 1, go for some aim, go for something a bit more RNG. Gonna find some miss, and there's the trade.
Yeah, Nomad 1 was one of Synchromic's better scores out of qualifiers, so maybe go for that after, but we've still got a little bit of map ahead of us. Huge accuracy lead for Tuna on this, 97 up against about a 92 for Synchromic. Does SS that stream though, and it's a slider break from Tuna, so it's only about a little less than a 40k lead for him on this. If Synchromic can claw some accuracy back, it might be attainable for him, but there it goes, no more combo.
Yeah, Synchromic having a tough time on the accuracy early on in this map, but maybe just getting warmed up into it. Tuna, on the other hand, doing relatively well at that 97. And both players holding a recovery combo. But we don't have much of the map left already, Miles. It's already coming down to the ending, and it looks like Tuna probably will go ahead and take it. Does find the miss, actually. Wait a second. Big combo for Synchromic. Considering the length of this map, that 380 is a lot. Continues to hit this ending. Synchromic bringing it back over towards the ending. Finds a miss. It's flickering. But it looks so like close. Tuna might hold it. Not that it particularly matters too much, of course, because this is not a point. It is a pick in the set. But every little bit of score does count, and that is 12,000 now in the favor of Tuna.
12,000, that is attainable though for Synchromic, keeping it very close on that, comboing the hard ending of this map. If he can manage to win his pick by a decent margin, it could be a win for him in this set. But first he's got to think long and hard about this next pick here. Already through with his Protect, through with his second pick. Does he have a third pick in the bag that could potentially beat Flying Tuna? We mentioned Nomad 1 before, and I think that could be a good pick for him, but it's going to be the hidden one, actually. Okay. Ego, gonna get picked.
Okay, I like it. I mean, going for some sort of aim regardless, just a little bit different type of aim here. This hidden one, fairly dense, AR 9.1, I believe, if memory serves, and quite a bit of anti-aim in here. Fairly uncomfortable type of hidden one to play, but what a lot of people are probably used to in this type of slot. I think it's a good pick to go into some aim here from Synchromic. Something mix it up a little bit in this match. We haven't really seen any generic aim so far. So, here we go.
He got 11th out of qualifiers on the Nomad one. I think he was somewhere in the 20s for hidden one. But still, nonetheless, an aim pick should be good for him here, but this is also the type of map that's up Flying Tuna's alley. Very good awkward aim player.
Definitely up his alley, but maybe at the offset wrong at the start there, just 100'd like every note. He's continuing to do so. Just slightly offbeat on this map, it seems, for Tuna so far. Hopefully he can adjust. Synchromic having a little bit of a better time here on the 96%.
That accuracy is holding all the difference right now as both of them continue their FCs into the first chorus. Lot is hinging on this first break here.
Yeah, and lots of very missable patterns in this map. You can see already, and there goes Syncromic to fall on one of the linear anti-aim patterns, but we're getting into some big jumps here. Tuna's gonna have to find a break if there's any hope for Syncromic. He doesn't, though. We get into a bit more free combo, and Syncromic misses again. Tuna misses on probably the free combo section of the map here. Tuna finding a lot of unconventional misses on weird sections today, to be honest, but regardless, Syncromic continues to miss, so it probably won't make too big of a difference, but it definitely could in the remainder of this map if Syncromic can start to build up a combo.
Oh, but there it goes, missing on that pattern right at the build-up. Now into the chorus, Tuna with the combo and almost the accuracy lead. He has brought it back from those hundreds in the beginning. Now holding a healthy combo and equal accuracy advantage.
Yeah, equalizing that AC after that very rough start. Huge square jumps and both players hitting it actually. Getting towards the final minute of the map here, approaching. Tuna with that combo advantage. Looking like he wants to close this one out 3-0. And it is a 34k lead for him, and he also has that 12k lead from the previous map, so almost a 50k difference total for the set. And, a bit of work for Syncromic to do in this final 45 seconds.
He's got the combo and the accuracy to take advantage if Tuna is to find a break. And we do have the most intense section of the map here, but Tuna is not finding the drop, and there goes Syncromic, so that's probably going to do it for this match here, Mavs. Tuna holding through the ending. Looks like he's going to take this third set in a decisive 3-0 victory over Syncromic in this first bracket stage match.
Actually hitting all of that ending impressively from Tuna there. And I think winning this final set. Oh, hopefully he can combo the ending. Oh my god, the spacing on that is actually kind of insane. He's got it. Yeah, actually winning this final set by, I think, the largest margin of all the three. So taking that one home on the hidden one. Great stuff from Tuna there. Even with a couple little funny misses from him today, still takes the 3-0 victory. And Syncromic, honestly, fairly close on those first two sets. Wasn't, it wasn't anything like a 1,000 score difference or anything crazy, but, like 50,000 score differences around there. Fairly close sets, to be honest, and then Tuna kind of just closing things out convincingly in the ending. So seed number 4, as expected, will be moving on early here.
Yes, and Syncromic, props to him for keeping it close throughout a lot of the match. It felt like for most picks here, Tuna was only winning it by under 100,000 points, only between 50 and 30,000 point differences on a lot of these maps. But unfortunately for him, he had to make up that difference on some of the maps, and Tuna remaining ahead, showing his dominance. And that's going to do it for our first match here. Flying Tuna over Syncromic, moving on.
Yeah, and Flying Tuna going to be going up against the winner between Serbia Trucker 13 and Rudge. I never know how to say his name, man. Rudge?
Rudge is right, yeah.
Rudge, yeah. I never know how to pronounce it. But yeah, that'll be a
messed up match for
match.
bracket stage 1, honestly.
That is, actually, that would be. That would be insane.
Yep, that's going to do it for our first stream here. If you do !when in the chat, we could see our next match is in 25 minutes. We've got AKNZX versus Gilgamesh 815 in what's probably going to be a closer match than this one, in my opinion. But until then, I've been Miles with Mavs, and I hope you all stick around for this next match.
Take care.
watched it fall away. It slipped right through my fingers. It slipped right through my fingers. It slipped right through my fingers. You said never let me go. I watched it fall away. can feel you in my heart, you in my arms. I can hear your voice, I can hear you through the silence, through the silence.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Lazer Grand Arena 2025. Moving onward through our first round here in week one, is a round of 32 matches. We are headed into a matchup between the number 6 seed Atkins and the number 27 seed Gilgamesh 815 as our second match of the evening. I'm this one guy. Joining me for this match and reprising his role is going to be Mavs once more. And so I will say good evening to Mavs and welcome back to the caster booth. Thoughts on your countryman Atkins taking on a countryman of mine, Gilgamesh?
Yeah, good evening, Tegan, all out there watching today. But yeah, this is an interesting matchup. I actually have some funny thoughts about this one. Atkins, Gilgamesh, and Gilgamesh, if you don't know this guy, and you know, you might look up his profile right now, what rank is this person? And you look them up. You see this person's almost 5-digit and they're ranked 10k, and you would think they have absolutely no chance against Atkins, but then you look at their top play and see it's Epitaph with sudden death. And it just makes me giggle a little bit that a ranked 10k player has a 760 PP no mod score as their top play. So clearly an extraordinarily underranked player, and I think that obviously goes to show, considering the fact that they've seeded 27th in this tournament. So clearly extremely underranked. Does not mean, of course, that Atkins is not going to be the favorite today. Atkins, one of the top players in recent years and extraordinarily well-rounded, I would say. Of course, strengths in that DT and mechanics field, but very well-rounded as a player. And Gilgamesh, with that Epitaph top play and some other very strong stream top plays, as well as some good tapping scores out of the qualifiers, looking at some of these tapping maps, which is not necessarily going to be the greatest thing going into a player like Atkins, a very, very good tapping player.
Yeah, I'm interested in kind of the stylistic matchup, I suppose, between these two. On this pool in particular, as we're, kind of taking a look through it as we make our way through the early bans and protects. Atkins obviously super well known as a really good mechanics player, as you mentioned. Gilgamesh, stream top play, but also I think pretty well known for, the reading and some of the kind of like flowy gimmick skill sets as well. So like kind of flow tech stuff, like you see, kind of the tech streams in this Nomad 2, flow slider tech in this Nomad 4, things like that. So it is, to me, a little bit of a clash of skill sets in that regard. That I think should be pretty fun to see, and I think no surprises with what we're getting early here. The DT3 ban from Gilgamesh, the Lazer mod ban, unfortunately, from Atkins. No real surprise there, flat by second with the freeze frame.
Against a reading player, you don't want to have that left up. Nomad 1 ban, interestingly enough, from Gilgamesh. So, kind of the skill cap aim, which Akin's skill cap player, I can understand that, does leave up the DT1 and the DT2, of course, available. So I think, kind of already starting to see what these players are likely to opt into as we get through the picks and bans.
Yeah, I think, like you said, Gilgamesh getting rid of that skill cap. 7.6 star no mod 1, it's not necessarily super comfortable either. Not that it's extremely unconventional, but, decently high BPM aim map at 7.6 stars. Just wants to get that out of there, away from the mechanics player. And the pick here, I believe, from Akins was, wait.
Did he ban DT2?
No, there's no way he just...
There's no way
Akins banned DT2. Did he think he was picking? That can't be right.
I don't know. I mean...
There's no way Akins bans a speed pick, ever. Against any player in the game, I think. I don't think he would ban it.
Well, we'll wait for confirmation, I guess, and see what's going on with that, because I'd be quite surprised that... Yeah, okay, that's been removed. And see what we're hearing. Okay, it was Nomad 3 as the second ban from Atkins, but did not show up in this client in the chat at all. But it is maybe the Nomad 3 ban from Atkins. It is unsurprisingly his first pick. That makes a lot more sense.
Yeah, I think you're slightly underwater there, Tick, if I fix that for a sec. But yeah, let's wait for confirmation here and see what the ban actually was. But I would be extraordinarily surprised to see a DT2 ban out of Akins. Very high BPM speed pick, looks right up his alley. Gilgamesh, of course, yeah, okay, it was a pick. There we go, there's confirmation. I would have been floored if Akins banned this. But no, looks like first pick DT2 out from Akins. Gilgamesh opting to ban that DT3 instead of the DT2, so clearly feeling more comfortable on the raw speed rather than the 240 BPM stamina. And here we go, straight into this DT2. The early misses out from both players, but the ACK is actually equalized. Not great ACK starts for either players here, but I'm sure they'll warm up into the map.
We'll have to see what happens with this one, because on paper it kind of feels like the type of binary skill set that you could establish a pretty sizable lead on in the format that we're running here, with the cumulative score, right? You can, if it's something you're super comfortable on, your opponent isn't, this is a way to give yourself a sizable lead. But if you're both good at it, which they seem to both be having a good time here, then this could stay pretty close, it seems, right? About halfway through. And that score gap is under 5,000 points. These two are staying quite close to one another, and kind of perhaps showing us why Gilgamesh was willing to leave this up beyond that initial ban.
Oh, and that miss is going to be huge from Akins. Actually finding a drop, but
dear.
Gilgamesh right there to trade it. So ACK lead now still in favor of Akins, and he will maintain that lead, but yeah, not ideal for Akins in this matchup, like you said. Can't really abuse this speed. Gilgamesh is right here and able to play it, sitting at a pretty comfortable 96%, almost matching, and barely behind by about 15k score. There goes another miss out from Akins, so now Gilgamesh poised to actually even win this map if he can continue to hold, with about a minute left, and Akins keeps finding breaks on this map.
Akins is having a surprisingly rough time on this skill set, but that's a big drop there from Gilgamesh. Drops the accuracy down, drops some misses down, and all of a sudden that score just flips over, and it's now a 23k lead in favor of Akins, with some combo coming into the last quarter at the end even of the map. Might have some time to build up a little bit of a cushion going into whatever Gilgamesh's pick in this first set might end up being. It's going to be maybe a little bit tighter than I think you'd want if you're Akins in this match, but it is going to give you a bit of advantage here, and you can see Gilgamesh starting to fall a little bit at the end, faltering in the accuracy, faltering in the combo, and now Akins is off to the races into the ending. It's nearly 100k. That's going to be a big deficit to try to overcome for Gilgamesh on his own first pick, because Akins really turned it on in the late stages of this map.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a pretty considerable score advantage going into the second map, because with the Lazer scoring, of course, we're gonna tend to see with the way the scoring system works in Lazer here, you definitely tend to see higher scores on average. So, you know, you could, depending on the accuracy and combo, you could see 500, 600k scores that would have been, you know, 300k in, you know, original Score v2. So a 100k lead, I think, is fairly nice for Atkins moving into the second pick. It was looking like it was going to be a lot closer, about 3/4 through that map, but Atkins getting a bit more consistent on those very bursty speed sections, just having slightly more consistency in the accuracy and combo, and slowly building up that lead in the ending. And now Gilgamesh to pick, and I'm interested to see what he goes for. We talked about something like that No Mod 2 maybe, those like techie cut streams. Gilgamesh, of course, a very, very, very good stream player. All top players stream maps, Epitaph FC, Sidetrack Day FC, like just lots of stream maps. So wondering if he's going to stick to something in that field like that No Mod 2, or if he pulls something else out of the bag here, like a tech pick.
Yeah, I could see this being either a No Mod 2 or a No Mod 4 potentially. It does have the protected, which I want to say was the hidden 2. Was the hidden 2 would be available as the protected map, and it is.
Ooh.
So we're gonna get the low approach rate. So this is interesting. You know, the both players. I guess by virtue of this format, it makes more sense to early pick your protect in this particular format because, you know, it's each set is just the 2-map cumulative score, right? So if you're down by a bunch on your opponent's protect, like just pick your own protect right back and see if it gives you as much of an advantage as you need to make up that gap, and give you a chance at succeeding in the first set here. So the hidden 2 protected first pick here for Gilgamesh. It's overlap stack reading hidden AR7 as well, so pretty challenging in the reading department, and this is the skill set I think we identified as working most in the favor of Gilgamesh in this matchup, so we'll see if that turns out to be enough to make up a 98k score lead in Atkins' favor after that DT2 pick.
Yeah, this map looked really brutal. I love to see reading maps now over the past couple of years actually starting to get much more difficult. It's at the point now where, like, I can't even play something like this, man. It's not even necessarily the AR7, it's just the patterning on this map is so hard to read, and you'll see as this map continues, it's so hard, and you've got these doubles mixed in, you need to have played it to know where they are. But Gilgamesh finding a couple early misses on it, and Atkins actually doing well. Although some people might not know about Atkins as a tournament player, very, very well-rounded. Does find a break there, but able to play almost any skill set, and showing that here early on.
And the nice thing about the cushion that he gave himself, right, is that all he needs to do realistically is keep this within 100k. He's got a 98,000 score lead off the first map, so if he wants to win the first set, just lose, worst case scenario, lose this map by 98,000 points and you're good. Like, that's a decent amount of confidence you've been able to build up. And as you said, well-rounded enough to keep the combo up. Accuracy suffering a little bit, so Gilgamesh is gonna hope to bring the score back based on the act, but Atkins keeping that combo up, and we're already halfway through, and the lead is actually still in favor of Atkins. It's going to get very difficult to bring this back for Gilgamesh because of the way the scoring system works, as you were discussing. I don't know that it's even going to be feasible after a certain point. We'll see, but for now, it's Atkins keeping the lead as they trade breaks, and if anything, that might help Atkins out.
That seemed like a misread, like a mistap from both players on that same stack. Both finding misses, but Atkins follows it up with another one, and that's going to give Gilgamesh the slight lead as he does flicker over, but it's not just the win on the map he needs to win by 100,000 points to win this set, and considering both players are sitting at 400k with a third of the map remaining, that's a lot of footwork to make up. We'll see if it's even possible, but these misses from Atkins are a good start, but the trades from Gilgamesh are not going to do him any favors. Oh my god, man. This map.
Yeah, this map is so hard. Like, the stacks are absolutely brutal, and just the little weird patterns you see and stuff as well. The back and forth full screen sliders even just throw in some added difficulty. Nothing is easy unless you are a very, very talented reading player. These overlapping perfect stack patterns, like in this section where they're both just falling to pieces and you see red all over the screen, there's a reason for that. It's because this is incredibly difficult back and forth, perfect stack overlap patterns, just unrelenting into this ending. And that lead is starting to build a bit for Gilgamesh. It's up to 48K, but I think the time might just run out. We'll have to see what happens in the end here. And Atkins pulls it back a little bit. I believe it does look like Gilgamesh will take this point. But unfortunately, winning this map is not going to make up 98K score. It's going to make it a little closer. It's going to make it about 45,000 points, almost exactly. But it's still going to be in favor of Atkins, and that's going to be a 1-0 set lead with a 1.19 versus 1.148 million score lead. Atkins takes the Battle of the Protects, wins it by 45K, and a 1-0 overall match lead.
Yeah, it was actually theoretically doable there for Gilgamesh in the last 45 seconds of that map or so, if he just happened to go God mode on that ending, which was by far the hardest part of the map. He could have made up that score difference, but finding many misses, I think, as you would expect, the ending of that map is just so hard. But theoretically, it was possible to win that one out there in the ending. Didn't quite happen, so we're going to be moving into the second set. Of course, if you just jumped in, you're fully unfamiliar with what's going on with the format. It's basically the cumulative score of the first pick from either player there is going to determine the first point. So you can see Atkins' combined score of the first two maps versus Gilgamesh's combined score of the first two maps. Atkins coming out on top by about 50k and winning that first set. So now we move into the next set, which will determine our next point. And both players will get one pick each here.
And it's going to flip the pick order as well. So we had Atkins first pick in the previous set. It's going to be Gilgamesh first pick in this set. And that first pick is going to be the somewhat expected, I think, Nomad 4. So we get Self-Destruct, and this is our Nomad Slider Tech map. It's by Pocket, and that's a mapper where if you're familiar with some of their maps, you know what you're getting into. You know what's in store for you on one of these picks. Just some very, very challenging Slider Tech patterns all throughout the map. Really another one that has some very lengthy, very challenging sections. And Gilgamesh, a super strong flow tech slider style player. So I think a pretty good pick as the opener for this second set here, trying to maybe establish a little bit of a lead and maybe put a little fear into Atkins going into his own pick. But it is early lead Atkins already here by about 13,000 in these slow sliders.
Yeah, that's a really rough break from Gilgamesh. What I was going to say about this map was the start of the map is, although it's not free combo necessarily, it's relatively chill compared to the diff spike on this map. So you kind of want to try and hold that combo through the first, 30-40% of the map before that diff spike. But Gilgamesh, unfortunately, finding multiple breaks early on, and this big combo from Atkins is going to do so much work considering the diff spike that is slowly approaching. It just means Gilgamesh is going to have to combo all the hardest parts of the map, which is not the position you want to be in here.
No, there are very few players in the world who can, take some solace in the hardest part of a tech map coming up. You can probably count those on one hand. That they can say, you know what, I'm good enough at this that I'll make up this difference on the hard part rather than on the easy part. And unfortunately, it is not so far in this map looking like Gilgamesh is among those, unfortunately. Some misaims, as well as just trouble following these sliders. Meanwhile, Atkins was on 98 AC, holding the FC, still has not broken yet. This is a ludicrous run that he is having on this pick. Just refusing to break, following the heck out of these sliders, keeping that combo alive. And this is getting scary. This is a 120k score lead about halfway through. And, even with Gilgamesh starting to stabilize here, Atkins is just on a rampage. No! Finally, the break comes. But it's 130k advantage into the slow section here. What a performance we're seeing.
Oh, he barely missed. It was like the second last note before the slow slider. And he would have been in for, I'm pretty sure, quite a bit more free combo right here. That would have been an enormous combo, but regardless, pretty much hits the entire diff spike there. Of course, some more difficult parts coming up, but that was seriously impressive from Atkins on that one. I mean, outperforming Tuna on this map, who played this last match, which is, that's already a statement.
Tuna, one of those tech players who might actually, win maps on the most difficult part.
Yeah.
So yeah, putting up a performance similar to what he's capable of is very impressive indeed. here. Now we get into this build up into the ending diff spike, which will make up the remainder of the map, and it's just going to see how much of this Gilgamesh can try to drag back. It'll require a little help. I think, 700 combo and similar accuracy. So Gilgamesh will be able to bring this score down if he can continue to hold into this pattern. There goes Atkins again while Gilgamesh holds. Now, this could get a little closer. It's still not good to be losing your own pick. But there's the break. Unfortunately, that's going to put the brakes on the comeback train, and Atkins now able to maybe build up even more of a lead as he tries to hit some of these ridiculous ending sliders.
Yeah, you can really see the Lazer scoring coming into play here with how close that ended up being. On your Score V2, this would have been a stomp, honestly, if I'm honest, from Atkins. It would have been a complete stomp. The combo scaling would have been extraordinary for him. He would have gotten a way higher score than Gilgamesh, but Gilgamesh, because the accuracy held through, the combo wasn't as important. He got a lot of that score from his solid accuracy, 97% almost, and bringing his score up to 640k, only 100k difference, although still pretty considerable considering the way this scoring system does work. That's very doable. 100k, super doable on this next map.
And our next map is going to be the No Mod 2 as the pick for map 2 of set 2 here, coming from Atkins. So a map that we kind of thought might be a Gilgamesh pick here, because this is Are We Floating in Space? This is a custom from last year's Perennial. It is a cut stream, tech stream pick. So kind of falls under the umbrella of things that we feel that Gilgamesh can be good at, but Atkins has shown us more than competent on this skill set as well. So this should be a fun one. This is a map that I think, again, both these players could have a very good run on.
Yeah, this is comfort zone for both of them, for sure. Just very comfortable stream player, Gilgamesh, but so is Atkins. Both extremely comfortable stream players. This one, of course, elements of tech in here too. We just saw the tech map. We just saw both players perform well on a tech map. So I think neither of them are going to have too many issues. And, being on Lazer again as well, a type of map like this, you generally see so much note lock on some of these transitions between these cut streams, as you can see already. But we don't have note lock to deal with, so interesting to see how that affects a map like this being played in tourney.
Yeah, Lazer definitely opens up some possibilities for things that wouldn't feel super great on the stable client, and there is going to be the early break from Atkins. Gilgamesh holding on. Remember, does have a 107k score to try to bring back on this map, so will have his work more than cut out for him. And you can see the challenge in these tech streams. Very tricky control aim, and the cut patterns making for some really precise adjustments and some really accurate tapping. Just shy of halfway through. It's 26k in favor of Gilgamesh. Going to need to quadruple that to try to make this possible in this second set here. That's a lot of score to build up when the combos and accuracies are pretty similar. The accuracy actually in favor of Gilgamesh. The combo almost at even.
That have 500 spins per minute from Atkins. I don't know how insane that is on Lazer, because I haven't really been keeping up with how much of the fastest spinner's spinning. But that seemed like that was crazy fast on that spinner. But here we go into another diff spike section. Both players finding resets early on here. The accuracy, though, that accuracy from Gilgamesh, just keeping him solidified here in this lead. Over 1.5% roughly lead on the accuracy, 99 plus. Very solid for him, super comfortable. Atkins gonna have to try and make some of that up, some of that accuracy back up, as well as some of this combo. Has to maintain some of this combo lead as we get more into these space streams now, alongside the cut patterns. It starts to get a little aimier, the map, and Gilgamesh just maintaining that accuracy beautifully.
Yeah, this Ak is very, very impressive. The combo, unfortunately, just wasn't quite there in the early goings. Another break from Atkins. This score gap is starting to build a bit here into the ending.
Wait a sec.
Oh, the miss. I mean, it's about the accuracy just a bit more, though, than it's not just the combo. But I think that break may have done it as we come into the very end here. And that's a lot of comeback from Gilgamesh. Both players, kind of winning break points there. But Atkins won his by a wider margin, still retains a 45,000 point lead in the cumulative 2-map score, and therefore will take the point on the set for a 2-0 lead. But that was interesting in that both players had a higher score than their opponent on their opponent's pick within that set.
Yeah, that is true. I guess both picks there were relatively similar skill sets to an extent, and this one a bit more streamy, but both of them having, of course, decently heavy tech elements, so I guess kind of was just a battle of comfort on both ends, and ended up being a little bit random in those, I guess, break picks, you could call them. And Atkins taking the set by a 45k difference. Gilgamesh, he was in for a chance on that No Mod 2 for sure. If he held that combo, I still don't think it would have been enough, considering the combo scaling is not as large, obviously, on this scoring. But it would have been probably like 15, 20k difference. It would have been very close. But we move into our third set here regardless. Atkins up 2-0 now, final set, and he is going to pick Hole Dwelling in DT1. I think we expected this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Extremely strong mechanics player going into this pick. Yeah, zero surprise whatsoever. Hole Dwelling is the aim DT in this pool. We have 1.35 rate up, so this is slightly slower than a traditional double time 1.5, but this is still going to be the 130 BPM. I forget, did that just come out to 260 on this? I don't know if this is just straight doubled. Air 10.3 though, and it has this cool like gimmick of playing this like left to right thing going on. If you look at the aim patterns, the map makes its way from left to right on the screen, back and forth throughout. It's kind of a nifty thing. But yeah, traditional aim map. First time we'll have seen kind of true aim in this match, and we'll see if it helps Atkins out as the on paper superior player in the mechanics front.
Yeah, I mean, if there's a single map slot you ever would associate with Atkins, it's DT1. One of the best, probably, DT1 players, actually, in the game. I would probably pretty comfortably say that. One of the best, at least. Just very, very good at this skill set. Hopefully I don't curse him here. But Gilgamesh does find the early miss. And like you were saying, yeah, the map shifting from left to right, you can see the way the it just slowly, all the patterning goes left to right, and then the note placement goes up and down. It's super creative. I love how this is mapped.
And it seems that so far, Atkins also loving how this is mapped.
Yeah.
Still quite comfortable thus far. You know, the accuracy, only quote unquote, what, 99.6? I really can't read the 9.5. But keep the combo up, builds up some lead up to 50k, and Gilgamesh maybe has found a skill set that he does not feel the most comfortable on. Struggling quite a bit here through the first half of this map. Lower accuracy by over 1%, or about 1%, and the combo really struggling, much higher miscount. There is a really random break from Atkins. I'm not even sure, just on that little up and down aim pattern, but you know, the lead's been established, right? It's going to be 60,000 points or so, unless he really falls apart in the back half of the map. It feels like he's going to have a decent advantage out of this. We'll see what kind of recovery Gilgamesh can have, though, as he is starting to build up for the first time kind of on this little slower section. But when the map comes back together, we'll see if he can continue that trend.
And the accuracy's there, pretty much matching Atkins' accuracy, so there's of course opportunity to make this close, even opportunity to win the map, although most likely not, but still theoretically possible. But the closer you can make this score, the better. So the cool thing with this format, right, is even if you think you're going to lose the map, you still want to play and try your hardest. Every little bit of score is going to matter in the set. But there he goes, he falls. It looks like perhaps a mistap, like tapping out of time or moving the cursor too early there. Finding a break, finds a couple more misses now. And Atkins building up the combo again after a bit of a random miss on nothing. But 70k lead, looking to bring that up to maybe around 100k if this continues.
Yeah, if Atkins can hold through some of the difficult sections here. Yeah, this part of the map is very awkward with the sliders and the doubles and triples thrown in. It's much more tricky rather than just being the true mechanics test like much of the rest of the map is. And you can see both players struggling quite a bit in here. Atkins getting the better of it, but with Gilgamesh breaking a lot, but you know, not able to really increase the lead by that much in here, despite all the struggles of Gilgamesh. That lead has only gone out by about 10-15,000 points. So, you know, Atkins not able to take quite as big an advantage out of this as he maybe could have. But it is still going to be a comfortable lead coming out of this first map in this set, and Gilgamesh really struggling a lot here with this last quarter of the map.
Yeah, looks like a comfortable victory by about 100k here for Atkins in this final 30 seconds or so. And why did I just notice a key overlay in the bottom right? Actually, do have a little key overlay so you can see who's single tapping, who's alternating. See Atkins full single tapping this map. Pretty good stuff. Definitely shows he's comfortable.
One of many little visual differences in the Lazer client. If you are not used to this this overlay, it definitely one of the things that you might just not instantly notice. But as you said, does end up being over 100k there. The last bit of that map really not going super well for Gilgamesh. Okay, that was weird. 114k, the advantage gained by Atkins, and frankly, unless something goes really, really wrong, that's very, very hard to come back from.
Yeah. 100k wouldn't seem like much previously in other tournament formats and stuff, but yeah, here with the scoring system, 114k is it's fairly significant. Of course, it's not anything close to impossible. Absolutely, very doable, but quite a large gap. You're expecting a player like Atkins in a bracket stage to basically fumble a map pretty hard, or for Gilgamesh to, like, you know, get an FC on something, or close to at least. And it's gonna be Will Stetson hitting 3 here. Mapped by Flake. This is it's a pretty cool one. Very, very kind of jackable trade style map. Lots of different skill sets incorporated in here. Bit techie, bit ulti, bit of aim control, bit of everything.
Yeah, when I was looking at the pool, my thought about this map was that it really is a true hybrid style map. You can't assign this to any one single skill set. It is like an absolute banger of a map. Flake did a really good job with this map. I don't say this is not a custom or anything for this, but it is a really nice map. It just offers so much, as you said, and I'm very excited to see how these players do on it, because I think this is another one where, you know, kind of like the Nomad 2 and the Nomad 4, I expect both of them to be able to perform pretty well. So with all the aim control required, the finger control required, you know, a light amount of reading with the hidden and everything. So this is what I was excited to see people play. I think it's cool. It's like, you know, at the end of the day, like, it's a cool map, which is always nice to see.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone else caught that at the start, but for some reason it's just like a Scarlet Witch ult from Marble Rivals in the background. I still don't know if that's the hit sounding or the song, but it's pretty funny regardless. I don't know why it's there. Both players finding pretty heavy struggles on this map early. As you can see, it's quite brutal. Some of those space patterns tripping both players up pretty considerably. Both looking to hopefully stabilize here early on. Accuracy's fairly even. Looks like Atkins with a slight lead based on just accuracy and combo. A little bit.
When you say early on, but we are already halfway through, because this is barely over 2 minutes long. It is not a long map. And that was always, you know, going to be a challenge for Gilgamesh here as well. Already down to 114k, and on a short map that is quite challenging. It's tough to build up any sort of advantage of the size you would need to bring that much score back. And man, look at what Atkins is doing. Yeah, the accuracy drops a little, but keeping the combo up through a lot of those tricky aim control patterns and the linears as well. Now into these difficult sliders and the aim control alt flow patterns. I mean, like you said, this map just throws the kitchen sink at you, and the players can suffer a little bit for it. But unfortunately for Gilgamesh, he is suffering a little bit more and just not going to be able to bring the score back that he would have needed to, I don't think.
Yeah, unfortunately not going to be able to win the point, but it was looking possible for him to win the map itself. A pretty considerable ACK lead now, but isn't quite going to be enough. Not that it would have mattered for the set, but almost wins the map over Atkins. Not quite there. It looks like Atkins just a bit too strong today. Very, very good performances actually on quite a few of these maps, and wins the final point here, taking the third set 3-0 in a sweep fashion here.
Yeah, and that's just how these matches go. You know, if you win the first map in a given set, which Atkins did all 3 times, you build yourself up that advantage on the second map, and you can sometimes relax a little bit. He had a big lead off of a couple of the first maps in these sets, and you know, was able to even build on it a little bit more in this case. But just ended up working out for him. And now 3-0. So with this round of 32 being single elimination, that is going to eliminate Gilgamesh from the tournament. But a respectable performance. Those sets were not one-sided by any means. So, you know, excited to see what he is capable of in the future in tournament play. And for Atkins, you know, you're the 6th seed. You're one of the best tournament players from your country and one of the best mechanics players out there in the world, period. So expected to win this, but you sometimes still need to fight through a little bit, and he was able to do exactly that for the 3-0. So I think things going to expectations here in a positive way for both players. I think you can take something good from this match if you're either of them.
I think Gilgamesh played very, very well. You know, it's always going to be a very, very tall order. You're going up against seed 6. You've kind of not barely qualified, but, you know, qualified in that lower portion of the seeding, and you got to go up against one of the top players in the tourney in that first round, and it's single elim off rip. So do what you can, try and get a point. Is what it is most of the time. We rarely see big upsets in those sort of matches. So commiserations to Gilgamesh, of course, and Atkins will be moving on to face off against the winner of Fedora Goose, and I'm sorry if I butcher this name, Polish player, Kosiarek or Kosiarek, I don't know how to say his name. But yeah, winner of that match will be who Atkins is going up against. And in 26 minutes, Tig, we've actually got a pretty cool matchup here with Emilbus and Jackson going off in the early stages. Of course, I think Jackson going to be a favorite. Great player to watch.
Yeah, that should be, like you said, I think that, you know, it's 12 versus 21 seed. Emilbus qualifying in 12th. Well done there. But yeah,
oh, wait,
Jackson,
really?
Yeah,
oh, I was so wrong on. Okay. I just
Emilbus,
assumed Jackson was
no.
a favorite. Okay, that's insane from Emilbus. Wow.
Emilbus, the number 12 seed out of New Zealand. Jackson, the number 21 seed, an American player. So I think that should be a good match. I think that's one that'll be definitely worth watching because I think it's a little closer than some of what we've seen. That's one where we could maybe see something that isn't a sweep for the first time, and hopefully so, because we want to see, you know, some close competitive matches. And as you said, 25 minutes till that one, 5 a.m. UTC. You know, convert that to your local time as you see fit. But that'll be the third and final match of our evening block here in the round of 32 before we switch over tomorrow morning into the lengthy block all day long Saturday. But so congrats again to our winners so far. Tuna earlier, Atkins just now. And hope you stick around. 25 minutes, our next match, Emilbus versus Jackson. I've been T1G, he's been Mavs. We thank you for watching, and we will see you on the other side of this break. 25 minutes from now. Grab yourself a drink, grab yourself a snack, meet us back here on the other side as Lazer Grand Arena continues onward.
multiverse, the allure of traveling through parallel universes beckons intrepid adventurers. Each universe presents distinct laws of physics, alternate histories, and uncharted wonders. As we journey, we encounter reflections of ourselves and ponder the myriad possibilities that hope is within. Guided by curiosity and a thirst for knowledge, we embrace the thrill of discovery amidst enigmatic landscapes. This cosmic odyssey, the dance with destiny, reaffirms the unbreakable spirit of human curiosity, a feeling that the wonders of the multiverse are limitless.
On the hour, so you know what that means. It's time for another match in Lazer Grand Arena 2025. Welcome everybody to the round of 32 stage, or week one, the start of week one rather, of this tournament. I am Fire Rage, going to be casting this alongside a brand new caster addition to this lineup that we have. Blank Tap, I know you've been wanted on the casting lineup for the last year's World Cup. How's it feel to be here now?
You know, it's what's strange, definitely, but it is an absolute honor to be here, and what is also an honor is to be able to cast this match. It's Boss against Jackson. This is, in my opinion, going to be quite close, but you know, Boss definitely much more, maybe all-rounded when compared to Jackson, but again, very interesting gimmick or mechanic for the scoring system for this arena in particular, so definitely excited how it will affect the outcome of this match.
For those unaware, there is a first ban phase, and then into a protect phase, into a second ban phase, and then afterwards, players will be playing sets of 2 maps. The cumulative score winner of that set of 2 maps wins the set. First to 3 wins. If it's 2-2, they play a final set consisting of 3 maps, and the winner of that takes it all. And the third map is going to be our OS Original by 7, Deglaciation. I probably butchered that pronunciation, but I don't care. Nonetheless, players are already banning and protecting. I'm not really too surprised with how it's going so far. Jackson's very pronounced weakness is hidden, so getting rid of the hidden 2 immediately, honestly, not surprising. Emilbus with the No Mod 2 ban, I think, is kind of surprising. And a DT2 protect!
Yeah,
okay!
Already? I mean, it's transpiring quite interestingly, that's for sure, you know. You would expect Emilbus to go for something along the lines of maybe Hidden 3 as a protect. It's kinda makes a bit more sense. It's Hidden Flow, very awkward flow, to say the least. But, facing Jackson with a very confident DT to protect, I'm very curious how this will go. However, second ban phase. What are we thinking here, Bossman?
I'm not too sure. Emilbus protecting into DT2 is definitely something that can happen. I would expect Jackson to basically insta-pick that, but with it being protected now, that is a kind of cooking. Mind games 101. So Jackson now having to get their second ban in, I imagine it's probably most likely going to be Hidden 3. I wouldn't be too surprised to see. I guess that also works. No Mod 4 ban, getting the raw tech out of the way. It is a skill set that Jackson is okay at, but not very comfortable at. Emilbus being well-rounded, just not wanting to deal with it. Not really. I can vibe with it.
Yeah, that's very much understandable. I don't know, I'm still trying to make sense of this DT2 protect. Maybe trying to prevent Jackson from going DT2 first. Maybe so, because Emilbus cannot, you know, double down on the loss because DT3 is protected and it's unpickable by the opponent. Maybe that's what it's going for.
I mean, it wouldn't surprise me, but if the match goes down to the wire, he's going to have to play that at some point, so it is definitely one of the strategies. No Mod 1 ban. I can kind of get it. 240 BPM streams on that is pretty brutal. It is a lot more of an aim pick, but it does make sense.
The soul section, I suppose, as a focus, that part really goes very quickly, so maybe he's very afraid of that, but nonetheless, after such a, I would say, controversial protect and ban phase, we're going into Hidden 3, High Yorokonde, straight up into the hidden modification for Emilbus.
Yeah, that's not too surprising. As we mentioned, Emilbus, going out of the qualifier stage, had a fairly consistent score lineup. Jackson, very obvious weakness on the hidden mod. So, expect that to be Emilbus's second pick in the second set. Would not be too surprising.
And a bit of info on this Hidden 3, you know, map by Flake. Very uncomfortable flow, it's just a bit of a party, left, right, and center, some jagged pattern, some linear, some curve. Everything you can think of, it's in this map. Igaku samples, High Yorokonde, and Will Stetson, quite a nice combination.
It's a tech difficulties classic.
Oh yeah. I would say fixing Lazer, but we are indeed in Lazer, so damn.
When I step out of my shadow, I find I'm just getting mad how I'm still just dancing to the beat. Boom, boom, boom. Step out of our shadows, to find we're just getting mad how we emerge and we'll never.
It should be interesting to see what happens with this match, though. I imagine Jackson probably wanting to pick into DT3 immediately after this, since that is what he protected. And that is definitely a map that he's almost certainly probably going to do really well at. For now, seems like the tech issues have solved itself. We're going to be going into Hidden 3. Hi, Pippi.
It's a bit of a loading screen right now. Maybe waiting for both players to synchronize. For now, we can absolutely enjoy this very beautiful PP awkward. And we're still loading. Oh boy.
I just gave it a bit. There we go.
Yeah. Nice.
Kind of. There we go. We'll get Emilbus in later, I imagine, but as you can see from the outset, a lot of different things on the HUD now. You can actually see the key presses a lot more clearly of each individual, and the UR bar on the side. Get that hopefully settled out right now.
Yeah, a bit of a fun fact actually, not really too fun for Emilbus. Every time I cast his match or whenever I spectate any of his matches in any other tournaments, his internet does a bit of throwing, so maybe it's just that happening yet again. And it seems it's in the board. Alright, we're running it back. Wow.
We having tech issues on your first match. That is wild.
Man, I mean, you know, like, it is what it is. But hopefully, MLBus's internet will revive. Maybe, you know.
Doesn't even seem like it was an internet. Doesn't even seem like it was an
Really?
internet issue. It was just a random client
That's
bug.
crazy then. Okay.
So, we'll see if it works properly this time. I don't know what was going on there.
Alright, here we go.
Takes a bit to load since a lot more things going on Lazer.
God, if you're up there, please.
Please make it so we see two. We didn't see two screens.
This is crazy.
We
Oh,
did not
man.
see two screens.
We did not indeed see two screens. Okay, what a wonderful start. Maybe we are gonna see a bit of a restart coming from MLBus, and I suppose we'll have to be a bit more patient until then. So, yeah, ladies and gentlemen, maybe refill your drinks, pop yourself more horns, and maybe get some more stacks.
It might just be an issue with client-side updating, I think. I mean, we'll see, but I've never seen this happen before.
Yeah, very unfortunate for the players involved, and basically everyone else trying to spectate this potentially insane match, but it's just not meant to start smoothly, to say the least.
That happens. Seems like they have tried something, so we'll see if it has changed anything at all.
Once again, never stop playing chance, ladies and gents. Once again, we are into the fray. Come on! I know we can do it.
Are we going to be seeing two screens? Come on. That's not, nope. Alright,
Number 4.
take four, babies.
Give it up for number 4. Give it up for number 4, ladies and gents. Place your bets. Will it be 2 screens, 1 screen, 0 screens, instant reset? You name it. Bet on it, ladies and gents. Because we will be here once again trying it out. Number 4. A bit of a reset on the chat as well, I suppose.
We might just be trying to get a new lobby straight up, honestly. Or at least seeing what the MLBus can do to re-download the map. Yeah, he restarted his PC, but it is also worth mentioning, as somebody in chat said, this has a lot of custom hit sounding, so it could potentially be the client getting overwhelmed by the amount of custom hit sounds, but I kind of find that a bit hard to believe. It might just be like cosmic rays interfering with MLBus's PC. Yeah, there it is. Okay, cool.
Oh my god!
Cosmic rays!
Oh man. Finally, alright. We rolled the dice. We finally hit it, ladies and gentlemen. A natural 20. Let's get right into the map.
You can see pretty much what this map is all about immediately from the onset. It is a lot techy than your standard map. It is a collab between Moff and Flake. And those two mappers very well known for this type of alt-oriented style. This is a lot more, it's still within the realm of being a tech-oriented map, but it does have a lot of those alt-map-oriented flavors with the pattern choices. Early miss here from Jackson.
Absolutely, with MLBus on the combo advantage right now, increasing the score rate to a solid 30k difference. Just building up that very important score rate in this set format, and still actually holding the full combo throughout and not missing a beat whatsoever. Hits that linear stream.
It's going to be dropping, I believe that's slider end on that, and then immediately after missing on one of the 1/8s, it's going to even out the combo advantage. Jackson now with a 200 combo advantage. Accuracy is basically identical for both the players, so that's not making a difference.
Jackson slowly chipping away. But will it be enough? Down to 28k, looking real good into the linear flow section. Bit of a jagged end there, and finally finding the miss.
Jackson finding a miss on that as well as the median after that back and forth pattern on that stream. Still relatively close, but it is starting to pretty convincingly go in favor of Emil Bus here.
It's just gonna keep on going. 100k difference, plenty enough. Only 10 seconds remaining in the map. And this will be a very solid start for Emil Bus. And now the question will be, does he go for it? Does he go for the protect, or will he go for some other losing picks to just say, alright, I concede, we'll go to the second set and I'm gonna destroy you with my protect or something?
I mean, 110k score deficit honestly isn't that bad, and I do think Jackson would probably want to go for this. I imagine DT3. He got scared from seeing gameplay. That's crazy. Yeah, once again, this is a cumulative score, so if Jackson goes for DT3 and pops off on that, well, Emil Bus gets a 800k, as we know he's capable of from the qualifiers, it will be in favor of Jackson, so if he wants to go for that, that is an option. Otherwise, and now our rep is having tech issues. Everything is collapsing in on itself.
My bad, guys. Sorry. Match indeed from us. Okay, like, oh, do you think Jackson is the type to overly practice something like Lazer mod?
He actually did pretty well on the qualifiers Lazer mod, so yes, I would not be surprised to see him try that if he wanted to. If he wanted to go for a bit more risky, but Emil Bus also, I believe, got decent scores on that. Not obviously as good of scores as Jackson, but nope, it's gonna be DT3. Get it out of the way immediately.
Okay. Yeah, very quick map, very short map. You know, zero tricks whatsoever. Some doubles here and there, but the ending, that will be the make or break point for both of these players, with the streams being basically unlimited, free for all you can eat.
This is a probably a surprise for a lot of you. You might be saying, how is Poopa DT in this pool? And that's because it is a rate change. It is 1.2 times the speed as we're using Lazer client. That is actually a thing that you can do, as a matter of fact. So this is now, it is Poopa at 242 BPM. So pretty lengthy streams on this. Very intensive speed stamina section, especially at the very end. Should be very fun to see. Note lock also not being a factor might play a huge difference here.
Actually fixing Lazer, what a surprise. And a bit of a elaboration on the AR, it's AR 9.92, so you know, I don't think reading this map would be a problem for either of the players, but nonetheless it is 242 BPM and we're gonna get right into DT3. Good luck and have fun.
Yeah, the shortest map by far in this pool, almost under a minute 20 seconds roughly. This is where we might see AC difference start to make a pretty big difference. For those unaware, accuracy is a lot more impactful on these types of Lazer maps. So you can have a very good combo and FC the map, but still get 800k if your accuracy is that bad. And we're kind of seeing that already. About a 20k lead from accuracy alone on these early streams here. 4% AC difference favoring Jackson. Both players holding on to what is essentially FCs though.
Absolutely. And Emil Bus, he's no slouch, but this is what Jackson is known for. This is Jackson's bread and butter, and he eats this for breakfast. Very, very massive accuracy difference at 2.7%. But the game is not over. He needs 130k to pay his debt. And will Emil Bus be able to slow him down just enough finding a miss though.
Misreading, I think that was a misread on one of the doubles, unfortunately. Jackson does trade it, but not before increasing the lead to 100k. Needs a bit more than that in order to claw this set back, though, so we'll see what happens at the ending. This is where the hardest streams come into play. And by the hardest, I mean the ones that are most spaced and the ones that are lengthy. So here we go.
The last section coming into a close. Jackson unable to pay his debt. It's staying at 70k. Some misses coming from Emil Bus, and it's increasing even more. 140k. That might just be enough, actually.
That is enough. 30k difference now, and Jackson takes the first set off DT3. Is actually very solid 2-miss on that. It's very, very impressive stuff, especially the accuracy. 98.86%. I'd be very surprised to see anyone beat that, honestly.
Kind of scaled plenty from that accuracy help in the end, and Jackson takes the first protect battle in the set. First point going to him, and now he will have the luxury of, well, first picking in this second set.
Thankfully, his protect was not to waste. So he can at least pat himself on the back for that and doesn't have to worry about DT3. Maybe have been better used on some other set instead. Unfortunately, DT2 is what would have been his next pick, but
Emil Bus using his protect as his third ban. Very interesting strategy, and it's probably working currently.
Well, it's working currently, but it's not going to work as soon as they get to a potential fifth set. If they get to a fifth set, then Emil Bus is going to have to pick it, no matter what.
Yeah, just banking on the fact that he must finish this 3-1, or maybe, you know, gain enough advantage where he can say, screw it. Maybe it's time to dive bomb with the DT2. Emil was taunting in the chat, but will that backfire in the later stage of the match?
I do think Jackson could probably go for Hard Rock here. Wouldn't be too surprised to see basically any of the Hard Rock maps, honestly, but Hard Rock 1 probably the most ideal, I would say. I would not be surprised DT1 as well. That could also be a potential pick, but basically anything from the lower half of the mod pool.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, Hard Rock 1 is as pure of a consistency as you can get, but we're going to the up and down map. It's DT1 at 1.35 times speed. AR 10.33, your near and dear AR, so nothing really special on this map. It's just aim. And it's just lots and up and down and up and down, moving left and right and left and right. It's not too special, but it's that.
You just angered people so much by saying it's not too special. This map is pretty beloved, I'd say, by a decent amount of mappers. It's okay. Everyone makes mistakes, surely.
I will learn my...
Nah, it's a fairly well-known map, I'd say. It's one of the more unique offerings that the editor has. 1.35x speed, so not quite double time, but still offering a pretty consistent challenge nonetheless. Primarily focused on aim.
Starting off, both players staffing very accurately, that's for sure. 97 again, 97, very equal, but we're about to get into the main portion of the map. The aim just slowly but surely creeping in. And both players starting off with a bang, 180 combo, and starting off very well.
And a comfort level not an issue for either of these players, and I imagine that's probably going to be what we're seeing throughout this. It's much like Hidden 3 in that regard. I think this is going to come down to combo rather than the massive accuracy difference we saw on DT3. This is a much more manageable map for Emil.
Yeah, here is a DT1 after all. Both these players definitely not gonna have too much of a problem on the tapping, but again, it's IAR, it's like MSG to fried rice. It just enhances the game that much. And now going into the first guy now, bit more intense on the aim. This lead just barring towards Jackson just a tiny bit.
And this is going to slightly halt his advance, though. This is going to shift in favor
Oh!
of Mealbus now. Almost missing on the slider, now just missing kind of everywhere. Just that one miss aim and everything's starting to kind of just fall apart. Mealbus still holding on to the FC, not anymore. He drops that 23k point favorite on this now. Not a huge lead, though.
Jackson does not have the combo potential to
Oh my
punish,
God.
and now he's just missing on the elementary part. What is going on? Mealbus now with the combo advantage and accuracy actually by 0.7. Jackson just dropping these random 100s, and we're already at the center point of the map. Can he recover?
This is where the rhythm gets pretty funky, and that's what you saw Jackson drop quite a bit of hundreds on. Was the 1/3 section intro there. Mealbus as well, also somewhat suffering in the accuracy department. Not as much, but still something that is worth mentioning. It's going to be Jackson with another miss. That'll get Mealbus a much larger lead advantage, though.
Very solid 50k against his opponent pick. He will absolutely be rewarded if he can keep this going to his side. The very slow slider now back to these kind of quiet parts, both players trading.
I guess these minor aim parts are a lot more difficult than they'd appear. You'd think they'd be pretty easy, but everyone's just missing everywhere on them. And the accuracy is now in the toilet for both the players from that 1/3 section. Combo reset. I think this is pretty much where the map is going to end at. 50k lead in favor of Mealbus unless something drastic happens.
There's just not too much momentum to South Jackson despite the 1 minute remaining on this map. We are in the hardest part of this current DT1, and no one is really surviving too well with their combo. Jackson trying to hold on, but it's just trades after trades, equal exchange after equal exchange, but Mealbus having a net positive in the score department. 50k in his back pocket. Can he utilize it in the next pick? But for now, this is looking very solid for him.
Yeah, Jackson's actually kind of just missing everywhere, which is increasing the score lead a lot more than it really should be. 75k and growing now.
And indeed, it's gonna sit comfortably
Wait,
at a
what?
80k actually. Oh my.
85k by the end of it, and that is not something you necessarily want to see, especially on your own pick.
Oh boy. Potential set point for Mealbus. Jackson complaining why that's so long. And to be honest, I understand.
It's only 3 minutes 50 seconds in terms of length picks. It's not that bad.
I suppose, but you know, YouTube short attention span.
All right, I forgot these guys play tablet. I forgot that. I forgot that plays a factor in that. I didn't even No wonder. No wonder there was random misses. I completely forgot about that. Wow. Other people use other peripherals to play this game.
Wow. I was thinking we are seeing the UHH. It's 1-0. Current set score in this current set is wait, 95k or was it?
650k to Jackson's
Oh.
565k,
Yeah.
which is I imagine what Mealbus wanted. I don't know why they're telling him 1-0 in sets. Yeah, there. I don't know what. I think everyone's just collectively trolling right now.
Alright, 85k towards Emil Bus. What will he pick in this map pool? There's still a hidden one. And you know, it's kinda hard to lose 95k in an A map. At least in my opinion. Oh, Hot Rock 1! Going from one tiebreaker to the other.
I can kind of see the logic behind this pick. 85k is a pretty substantial lead. You might not want to blow your load on hidden one, which you know you're going to be doing very well on. So go for something a bit more risky.
That's
See
you
if
don't
it
have to win
backfires,
after all.
but- Don't worry, chat. Don't worry.
Alright. Now, this Hot Rock one, it is very much interesting because I think it was actually just straight up a tiebreaker, but we put Hot Rock on it. But yeah,
This was this was a tiebreaker for Corsace 2022, the first round, I believe, round of 32. So,
oh my.
original song made just for that, unfortunately not licensed. Did not get the licensing rights for it, the Us team, but it is a pretty traditional tiebreaker-oriented map. It tests a lot of different skill sets at the same time.
Yeah, one of those being 1-6 quad burst, some, you know, essence of tech, of course. A bit of flow, as we are seeing right now, leading into those tricky sliders. Starting off though, accuracy towards Emil Bus.
A bit of a tech-oriented section to start things off here. Cut streams, 1-6 bursts, some fast sliders. Jackson taking the front end of it right now. Very poor accuracy, all things considered, on this. As Emil still holding on to a 99, just now dropping to a 98, but still a full 3% higher than what Jackson's holding right now is going to be keeping him solidly in the lead for this.
Especially with the laser scoring, helping him to stay on his pedestal, finding some misses, slight combo for Jackson, but he needs a lot more work to be done here. And he's just not getting any of it. Now going to these tricky 1-6 bursts.
It's worth mentioning you got to see a bit of the taste of no note lock and laser there, as Jackson was missing some of the notes in the streams and not missing the entire rest of the stream after. BPM change here. This is where the song slows down a bit.
Some tricky micro triangles, but Jackson does find a miss. Never mind. Emil Bus once again in the lead in terms of score. He doesn't even need to win, he just needs to not lose by 85k. And yet he is padding more and more a safety net so he doesn't fall too hard. But he just got this under control, I suppose.
BPM increasing once again, so back around to, I believe, 170 now. Lead is going to be somewhat stable, not anymore, as Jackson finds a miss there. Emil Bus going to be increasing the lead slightly. We're going to need to pretty much see a collapse from Emil Bus in order for Jackson to start taking the lead on this. The accuracy lead is very much in favor of him, and the combo lead as well. Over 700 combo in favor of him.
Yeah, collective 175k lead. This is not impossible to come back from at 94% accuracy. Only 2 minutes to stage quite the comeback. He needs a full combo from here on out, and for Emil Bus to miss, one of the requirements has been filled, and it's all up to him to do something, to say the least.
And the problem is Jackson's going to need to hold for the rest of the map pretty much, as well as work on the accuracy. So if either of those, if both of those rather happen, then this comeback is possible, but just based on what we've been seeing throughout the rest of the map, I'm not too sure if that's going to be reasonable. Emil Bus continuing to miss is going to help things a bit, at the very least.
much though. Definitely being buried alive by depth. And thus the depth collector coming to take his point to equalize things out. But 1 more minute of the map. Going to the final section now. Spacing gets even
there it goes.
more ludicrous, and indeed does not seem Jackson will bring back anything. Elbow straight, but he has done more than enough. 100k in the lead, 185k collective lead. It is safe to say that he's gonna get this set point into his pocket. 1-1, and yeah, definitely very good choice, not gonna lie.
That's
All
all
the riskier pick.
I wouldn't necessarily say super risky, especially with the 85k point lead, but definitely worked out in Emilbus's favor nonetheless. Looking a lot better on overall tech than Jackson right now, which thankfully for Jackson, there's not that much raw tech remaining in the pool.
Yeah, the Nomad 4 ban and other ban, I think, hidden too, yeah. You know, there's just not much other gimmicks. Lazer mod though, still in the question. And I will await who will open the Pandora box first. That map is very interesting to see between these two players.
In any case, Emilbus 1-1 now, taking that set convincingly, 220k. So we get into another round of picks, starting with Emilbus's third pick. Forgot to switch his skin. This is why you don't use more than one skin, ladies and gentlemen.
That's so real. Play Yugen, guys.
See, I would shill my personal skin, but
Oh,
unfortunately, I think I lost the download link for it anyway.
nah. Alright, fine. Keep your secrets. Oh, hidden one right off the bat. Not even waiting for anything. Going straight with ego.
Yeah, this is what we expected. This is a awkward aim-oriented hidden one, much in line with what you saw in tournaments around 2021, 2023. This is definitely something Emilbus is a lot more confident on than Jackson.
So I think this is custom by Celiac. This
Yes,
map
it
has
is.
big jumps, and this map has Fumo with big shoes, so it's gonna be a fun map, that's for sure.
The background on this is very awesome.
It's Aura. Oh, actually, this map has been updated indeed.
It was updated relatively early on in the week, so should have no issues, unlike whatever the hell was going on with the first map we had. Surely Hidden won't break twice in a row. Yeah, no, we're good.
Oh, there it is! Alright, Fumo drip. Oh my, not the best of start for Emilbus with that fumble on the finger control, but plenty of chances to recover his accuracy.
And a bit of a density check on Hidden, in addition to just aim check. AR 9.1 on this at this BPM 210 is can be a bit tricky to aim, especially when you have some of these wide angle patterns that you're seeing on screen. So far though, Jackson having a pretty sizable lead just off the accuracy blunders from Emilbus early on. Will be missing, so combo advantage is in favor of Emilbus, but
The first guy now, will things change? Will Emilbus combo game somehow in a laser scoring system? Still pulling it back slowly but surely, no one finding the miss on that big jump. A 4k difference down to 3, slowly but surely, counting down like New Year's. Jackson holding on nonetheless though, into the 1-2, he does find the miss, but Emilbus combo games throughout.
solid combo on that from the first hard part. Not letting the accuracy phase him much, still holding on to the F seat.
Still building now to a solid 7k. Emilbus, how is he getting away with this. Accuracy recovery to a solid 97 soon enough, but Jackson still has that investment, still has that 99% accuracy that can absolutely pop him off in the ending of the map where the multiplayer just spikes up, but the jumps, both players missing.
That's going to affect Jackson a lot more than it's going to affect Emilbus. Emilbus not really having that much issue in the accuracy department, is actually recovered fairly nicely in that regard. Only a couple hundreds here and there, which is more in line with how Jackson's performing.
In this situation, Jackson doesn't really need to win. He just needs to soften the blow. The streams coming in, the jumps, and Emilbus rates yet again against Jackson. 70k difference once more. The last section now. Jackson, can he find a bit more combo? Can he outlast Emilbus on those 1-2 spikes? Here we go once again into the fray, into the gauntlet. Both players in the flow state still hitting it. The squares, not a problem. The triangles, absolutely beautiful. But Jackson finally finding the miss, and Emilbus trades once again. Still staying at a comfortable 75k lead. It's just not going to change too much, I feel.
A bit of a awkward aim to the endings. We'll see if anyone misses, unfortunately, on those, but actually everyone hitting that ending, that's pretty solid.
Oh my.
I was not expecting that, honestly. 78k in favor of Emilbus, which it was his pick to be expected. Jackson now to follow it up with his own pick.
This is going to be quite risky indeed, though. The pressure to outscore your opponent by 78k. Definitely not something you really get used to instantly. Jackson, a bit of a complaining. 10 misses on a map. It is what it is, I suppose.
As the staple of awkward aim hiddens. You get very good accuracy, and then you just miss everywhere. It's very awesome. This opens up the potential for a couple picks here. Jackson has basically the entire Hard Rock pool, minus Hard Rock 1 to pick from. No Mod 3 and the aforementioned Lazer mod. Cannot pick into DT2, since that is protected by Emilbus. Otherwise, he would immediately hop on that.
Oh yeah, definitely tough situation to be in for Jackson. He needs to bring Emilbus to basically the match point for the both of them. The fifth set will be his key onto finding success and victory in this match. But he's gonna go for the No More 3, the acquired taste of a music. It's going to be as unfolding. This is... Yep.
This is a map.
And also a song.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird snaps in this. What the notes classify this map is rhythm finger control, and I feel like it's more song listening. That is a challenge of this. You have to listen to the song and figure out the intricacies of delayed snaps. Sometimes by 1/8, sometimes by 1/4. It gets really, really weird very fast.
And you know, maybe the mapper have just kinda plenty of mood swings in this map for sure. Lots. I mean, at least it's not kind of a speedy Fincon map, but the rhythm changes. It's so frustrating and annoying. Let's see if both these players can adapt quickly enough.
I feel like accuracy is going to play a pretty large factor in this. Maybe even more so than combo, but early stages, not too many issues. Well, it is also worth mentioning that this is somewhat of a slight tech pick as well. Like, outside of the rhythm choice being, you know, rhythm. Is overall structured like a tech-oriented map with slider shapes and cut streams galore. Jackson, the first one to miss, going to be giving Emil Bus the lead.
Very solid start indeed. Accuracy ahead as well. Definitely not something you want to see as Jackson here with 1 minute remaining on the map. Combo is still being held tightly by Emil Bus, but finally loosened up his grip. There is an opportunity, but it's not much. One miss and it might just be gone.
That was a very unfortunate misread from Jackson. He read that up-down instead of down-up. Emil Bus does find another miss, so lead will be at the very least halted for now, and still 30 seconds of map remaining. Emil Bus drops a couple more misses, and Jackson keeps holding on to the combo, which he is not going to be doing, because of course, why would anyone hold on to combo after I mention their name?
A bit of a miss from Emil Bus there, but 20 seconds to stage a comeback. Jackson, can he squeeze water out of stone? I don't think so, sadly enough. It is going to swing in his favor, yeah.
It will be swinging in his favor, but he needs 80k points in order to win, and even that, he's not going to be winning. 3k loss on that map. Close from both players, but will be Emil Bus taking the second set. 2-1 now. Jackson on the ropes.
Back to his pick nonetheless though. The DT2, the cookie jar being stored away farther than he could reach. Emil Bus definitely paying off. The 3-2-1 method, it seems.
This is where things get funny, though. Jackson has Lazer.
Remaining.
Yeah, he has both the hard rocks remaining, and he has Lazer mod. And if he decides to go for Lazer mod, if he's confident in his ability to read freeze frame, which is the Lazer mod for this one, things will get interesting. And I think we're gonna be. Oh, yep, we're gonna be seeing it.
All right, this is going to be a very, very double-edged pick. Jackson saying, "Screw it. You know what? Might as well."
We saw this earlier in Flying Tuna's match against Synchromic. Synchromic, however you pronounce that. So not going to be the first time we're seeing this. But for those unfamiliar, this is a freeze frame is a unique mod. I'm not really sure how to describe it. It's take a frame from the editor, essentially, like an individual pattern from the editor. You are playing that pattern first with all the notes appearing on the screen. You have to read the approach circles from those notes to play the pattern correctly. So a bit of semi-easy mod reading, I suppose you could call it, to some extent. It is very much a practice mod. If you do not practice, you are not going to have a fun time.
Yeah, I mean... Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to count. Welcome to counting class with Fire Rage and Blank Tap. Your students for today, Emil Bus and Jackson, starting off very nicely. And count to 3, very good. But accuracy on the side of Jackson right there, Fire Rage.
This is where accuracy could actually make a pretty massive difference, especially if Emil Bus is not practiced, which it does not look like he has. This actually is a very good pick for Jackson so far. We're not even 1/4 of the way through the map, and he's already at a 70k lead, even with his own misreads.
Absolutely, 30% accuracy deficit is absolutely something to behold. Jackson's perfect math class live on match, and he's currently counting numbers, and he's probably counting the second point soon enough with this very big lead in the beginning.
Yeah, it's just neither of these players are really having a fun time with these high combo ones, and I imagine it's going to be exponentially worse as soon as we get into the latter half here, where the combos increase a lot. Here we go.
Oh my god, alright, here comes the linear. A bit of a chain miss coming from Bus, not really reading it too well. Jackson still trying to hold on. Combo does not cross the 20 times mark. Everyone's still trying to survive. Everyone's trying to not drown. The ship's sinking, but Jackson's on life support, still holding on, somehow comboing, actually 85% accuracy, but that is good enough when your opponent is down on the ground.
Finally past that section, back into some more familiar flow aim patterns, although still misread potential for both of these players. And I think Jackson is building up a pretty healthy lead here. Just from this alone, he's going to be at the very minimum 100k in favor of him, as he just completely misreads the pattern and drops 20k from misreading that. Milva's actually doing pretty solid at the ending here, all things considered, but I think it's not going to be enough. It'll still be 120k in favor of Jackson, just barely getting above that 116k, but still a very considerable lead for Jackson going into Emilbus's second pick, which he doesn't really have much choice. Hard Rock 2, Hard Rock 3, DT2. Those are the only maps remaining.
I do feel the smart choice is to just say, screw it, once again, it's martyrdom time, DT2. Let's just tie up on Hot Rock 2 and Hot Rock 3 and go straight for the OG. I think that's like the smartest choice here. Oh, he's doing it!
I think he realizes that the set is kind of doomed, so he just said, screw it, let's go for it. So at the very least, Jackson will be able to play DT2. He has that going for him.
Man, having the luxury, the opportunity, the power to detonate a bomb under yourself at any time, that's what makes this so interesting as a set gimmick. But yeah, it does seem that we're gonna see our very first OG after 2 sweeps, actually, Fire Rage.
Well, let's not get too ahead of ourselves. Emilbus might pop off on this. Who knows? Anything can happen. Because you have to remember, New Zealand time, I think, is about 1 p.m. right now, somewhere around that. Jackson is playing this at 11 p.m. So worth keeping that in mind.
I mean, you know, usually for the Asian players, that's primetime gaming. But
6 p.m. Okay.
Oh, okay. Both of them are at night. That's kind of crazy, actually, to think about. Yeah, going straight into DT2 indeed, Fire Rage.
Yeah, true double time this time, 1.5 times speed on this, so this is essentially as if you were playing with stable mods. We're already seeing a pretty big accuracy difference right immediately out of the get-go, so pretty similar to DT3 in that regard. It's just whether or not Jackson can hold on to combo and keep this lead in his favor, which doesn't really seem like he's having that much of an issue. Worth mentioning, 10.3 as well, AR 10.3. This is the only pick above AR 10, I believe. No, never mind. Hole dwelling is 10.3 as well.
Yeah, I mean, Jackson finally finding the miss. And now with 3.5 minutes remaining, very, very solid lead here with both accuracy and combo dominated on both sides. Definitely looking good.
And this is Jackson's skill set, so it's not really too surprising to see him do very good on this. This is literally, I think, what he did for the OWC test players, was literally just play this type of map over and over.
I mean, yeah, like that cannot be more than obvious right now. Sadly, he did indeed miss bit on the 1 minute mark there, so, you know, no farming in the lobby. Who knows, maybe CSR will kick in.
I don't know if that's how this works. You know, the potential might be there. You know what? I believe it. I believe it.
Division.
Okay, Yeah, I don't believe it anymore. I
Okay,
feel like this is
never
kind
mind.
of doomed. This is kind of... We're going to be seeing a finally, after... I shouldn't really be saying finally. After the first 3 matches, actually, getting a tied set count now. Which is, where we get to see the original. That's going to be very fun to see.
But before that, though, something... It's very interesting that you gotta play the rest of the 2 maps first. We have that tiny advantage on the tiebreaker. Is just... once again, very funny. Finally going to the snow section now for Jackson and Amilboss alike.
And worth mentioning, somebody in chat said, this is not the top diff. You are correct. If this was a top diff, both these players would be dead by now.
Yeah, if this
Actually,
was top
I
diff,
mean,
you-
Jackson could probably hold his own on it, but...
Fair enough. Well, Amilboss, not too much. I know my man's limit. Going to the last guy, not the last piece of shred. 25 seconds remaining. It's just not much, ladies and gentlemen. Oh boy, I mean, damn, this is it. 2-2. We are tied in sets. It's time we go to the 5th fiery.
The most lopsided set by far. 400k in favor of Jackson by the time the last map is over. Tiebreaker hype? Not necessarily tiebreaker. It's a different method of tie breaking, I suppose.
Wait, that's
since
true.
both of these players still get to pick. That was
illusion
winnable?
of
True.
choice. Sure, full combo, maybe. Crit milk is crazy. Alright,
for those-
that was...
Sorry, I keep interrupting you and I feel bad.
No
for
worries,
that.
no worries. No.
But-
I...
To describe the format, now, the final set will have picks from both these players. So Amilboss going for the Hard Rock 3 pick, which kind of automatically locks Jackson into the Hard Rock 2, as that's the only map remaining. So we'll be seeing those 2 maps, and then followed by the original by Misty, the Glaciation. And the winner overall of those 3 maps, in terms of total cumulative score, wins the match. We'll see what happens.
And now going to our first map in our last set. It's flood warming. It's going to be a bursty old map. Plenty of snaps in this map in that way. So yeah, not a long map as well. Let's get right into the business.
Hard Rock is probably the most contestable pick, I'd say, at least for Jackson, so I wouldn't be too surprised to see him get some pretty good scores on that. With that said, rough start on this map, but recovered nicely after that beginning.
Hopefully he has the right skin. I'm fearing for his life if he is wrong right now. Not the time to make those kinds of mistakes. 60k difference, 99.7% accuracy for Amilboss. Still, with the full combo, he wants every piece of advantage that he can get.
Jackson struggling a lot with the snap aim, kind of just flowing through a lot of these, and that's not going to help you much at all. This is a lot more of a snap aim focused map. You can't really flow through these a lot. I mean, you can, but it's not necessarily going to work out in your favor, and we're seeing that kind of in droves right now as Jackson pretty much missing everywhere. Amilboss still holding on to the FC 99.6%. I think Jackson already knows this point might be a bit doomed, and this score lead is going to be a bit hard to recover. Oh my god, what did Amilboss miss on?
Ay, caramba! Okay, Jackson has the opportunity to recover at least stop the bleeding by shoving gauze into his wound. And not much of an opportunity nonetheless, though. Accuracy down in the ditch, combo down in the drain. His opportunity currently down on the ground. And now Jackson finding more and more misses. It's not looking like he's gonna be in the best form when faced in tiebreaker, to say the least.
Yeah, 200k point deficit's going to be very hard for anyone to really come back from. Luckily, he does have 2 maps at the very least to do it with, but he's going to need to lock in for those 2 maps, and it's just going to keep on growing actually as this ending plays out.
My. Jackson's not getting too much of a break right now. 230k. He's gotta start working. Busier than a bee, that's for sure. Going into Hot Rock 2 this time. Going into... It's a package, Hot Rock 2. Slider jump scare here and there. But the map are kind of misaimed and kind of put the CS at 6. So, yeah, this is gonna be very scary.
It's a precision pick, and having the precision pick as the last map that you're going to be playing is always a fun time. Yeah, that was a crazy score from Milbus on that, though. So yeah, as Blank Tap mentioned, CS6 is the base on this, which makes it CS 7.8 with Hard Rock. It's not something you traditionally see in tournament map pools. We've been seeing it a bit more recently, especially in later stages, but it's definitely not the standard precision pick metadata of CS5, which is CS 6.5 after Hard Rock.
Yeah, close to 8, you know. Bruh. And especially the sliders. Man, if it was just aim, if it was just jumps, I think these 2 players can go toe to toe, absolutely. But the sliders might throw a wrench into Jackson's opportunity to come back, especially from the telling Nomad 4 ban.
Well, it's not wasting any time. Jackson's got a 230k score lead to chip into. He's got 2 maps to do it with, and if any of it's going to start, it's going to start here. This is a very precision-oriented pick. Low BPM, not really too much going on outside of the precision aspect, which both players, outside of the early miss from Jackson, not having too much trouble with.
Starting off very comfortably for Milbus here, looking to add even more lead, even more depth into his pocket, and he's doing very well at that 30k difference. Jackson's not really feeling too comfortable on these very, very precise aim. Finally finding a miss there. Jackson has the opportunity, but he gotta work for it.
Missing on the slider ticks on these sliders is brutal. You do have to aim these sliders. There are slider ticks on a lot of them, which is why you're seeing Jackson get misses on them. It's not entirely doomed for Jackson quite yet, though. Only halfway through the map, and it's a 40k score lead for Milbus, with combos and accuracies being pretty much the same. It just comes down to who's going to be missing more from now on. Unfortunately, Jackson not having a fun time getting a miss there.
Now in the middle of the map, not much parts remaining, not much circles, nor density. And Milbus still holding the key in front of his face, and the lead is just slowly but surely increasing to his favor.
Slowly increasing in favor of Milbus. 70k points of difference hovering around that for right now, and it's going to be increasing more with Jackson misaiming the latter note of that burst. No one missing on the stream there.
Oh boy, Jackson finding a miss right after the 340 combo for Milbus. He's looking to increase his lead to a very solid 350k. And that might just be very scary for even Jackson to come back from.
Yeah. You're gonna have to basically pray to God Laser Mod. What we saw in Laser Mod happens, but exponentially worse, and Jackson has to play out of his mind. That is the only way to really come back from this.
And sadly enough, I don't think Tiebreaker is something akin to DT2 as well, so yeah, this is gonna be very tough. There is some mechanics involved, but tech has a part in it as well, and it's not gonna be pretty.
As Lazer mentioned in chat, these tiebreakers are designed with the intent of not being as lopsided as some other tiebreakers you might see. So it is a very much a more well-rounded. I think both of these players are sight reading, so this is going to go well. As is traditional tourney player fashion, never play the tiebreaker.
That is so real. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, the glaciation, or however you say it. Oh boy, it's actually the OG. Oh boy. Here we go. Good luck, have fun. Bus with a solid 350k lead. May the best player win.
Yep, I can definitely tell these guys are sight reading this. Those first few sliders solidified it in my mind. So this is going to be kind of funny, actually. There's a couple of patterns in here that could trip you out if you haven't practiced this. We'll see if it makes a difference. As you mentioned, this is a mechanics-oriented tech map, so we are starting things off with a bit of 215 BPM streams here, alongside pretty wacky patterns, and it's actually going to be going in Jackson's favor for right now. He's going to need way more than what's currently being offered in order to get back into this, which thankfully Emilbus is missing quite frequently, and this lead is already about to be 70k.
Will this be the tail of the tortoise and the hare? Emilbus, is he gonna fall asleep too much under the tree? 60k in the lead, but Jackson approaching the tech part. Gonna stop his progress here.
Emilbus seems to have I don't know what happened. He apparently just decided to lock in now. As soon as I say that, of course, why not? just added a cheeky little slider tick miss in there. I can never be correct for once. But that was a very solid combo showing from him, which is going to keep the lead pretty minimal, and we're going to need to see a pretty drastic collapse in order for Jackson to even have a chance of taking the set.
And with only 1 minute remaining, there's just not too much opportunity here to somehow abracadabra a 310k score into his pocket. Jackson, he is winning the battle, but not the war if this keeps up.
Yeah, both players missing quite frequently on this hardest part of the map here. The accuracy is giving Jackson the lead barely, but he's gonna need to have a lot more than just 60k, and unfortunately I don't think at this point it's gonna be possible for him, even if Emilbus just stops playing. Will be at the very least getting closer in favor of Jackson, but with 300k point deficit, it was going to be an uphill battle from the start, and unfortunately Jackson not going to be able to do that. 100k lead in favor of him at the end of the day. We'll be bringing it down to 200k in favor of Emilbus, but nonetheless, Emilbus still wins 3-2 in terms of overall sets, and he progresses on to the round of 16, which is happening tomorrow. Jackson. This is where we say goodbye, unfortunately. This is not a double elimination tournament until the weekend after this, so quarterfinals onward is where you'll see double elimination. For now, it is single elimination, and that is going to be the last time we see Jackson.
Good game and well played. Definitely very solid showing, but that very smart DT2 protect play from MLBus just kinda gained that very important footing for himself in the very end. That very solid 350k lead from both Hot Rock 3 and Hot Rock 2 just set him apart for success on the OG pick. And yeah, definitely quite a match, that's for sure. Finally, some tight match for sure.
Still got plenty of matches for you coming on this fine Saturday, or if you're in the West Coast like me, unfortunately, Friday at 11 p.m. We have a Secret Box versus Hidayo. The winner of that will be facing off against Emil Bus tomorrow. That will be happening at 12 UTC Sunday, no matter who wins. So very interesting to see that. We'll see you guys when that happens. But for now, got about a 6-hour break. Get yourself some water. Go to an arcade. Do something. I don't know. I'm going to be sleeping. I love sleeping.
Let's go.
It's my favorite pastime.
Let's go.
That's going to do it for me and Blank Tap on this match, though. We'll see you guys in 13 UTC, 6 hours from now. See you guys then.
Bye bye.